Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. Actually, a little change of scenery here. We're having some construction up there in the front, and my dog's kind of barking, so I had to relocate to the other part of my yard. So, hope everyone's having a great weekend. Yeah, I got my Yankee hat. Yankees stink. They are terrible. They've lost seven in a row. They're in last place. They're 60 and 63. And last time the Yanks ended the season under 500 was 1992. So, not good news, not fun being a Yankee fan. But anyway, getting right into this, I'm going to show you a clip of a 92-year-old Republican gentleman and his thoughts on Donald Trump. This is very good. Very nice man, very gracious. Here's a guy who's lived through 15 presidents since Hoover, right? Born, I guess, in 1930, 31. So Herbert Hoover, the whole thing, FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, all lived through 15. And he's never seen anything like this. Great interview. I only think he's a little too nice about him. I guess he had some friends who, well, I'm not going to say anymore. Watch it. It's very good. It's from a channel called the Mack Project. So there you go.
Keith, you consider yourself, you've been a Republican your whole life, right?
I was brought up in the Republican community, yes. My parents were Republicans.
What do you think about President Trump?
Well, although I am a Republican, I chose not to vote for him. I don't think he's presidential material, and I don't think that he is what we would call an honest, good person. But that's strictly personal, and that would be my major question right there. Yes, I have been a Republican, but I didn't vote Republican.
What did you think about him when he revealed that he was running for presidency?
Well, first I thought it was just a joke. I really thought he was just being funny. He was involved in pageants and The Apprentice and different shows like that. And I really thought it was nothing more than just something for him to do. And I'm not sure it wasn't. I don't know if he really wanted to be a president. I don't know if he had any idea the responsibility of a president, And in listening to him, I have a feeling he's not a big reader. But that's also personal. But
how do you feel about his current indictments?
Well, of course, everybody is innocent until proved guilty. But I think there's been so much proof already. And, I couldn't be a juror because I already have convicted him in my mind. And I'm sure there are a lot that have. But he has a big following that really think he's God's gift to the world,
What do you think about his most extremist followers?
Like QAnon and things like that, are you talking about Proud Boys? Well, they all kind of fall into the cultish type of behavior. And unfortunately, part of my family is very closely involved with QAnon. And,
do you think that there's anything that would convince those types of people otherwise?
Probably not. I think they are thoroughly indoctrinated. I think they see him as the ultimate authority. And I imagine you have seen it yourself, that some things that just seem completely unreasonable, people accept it like it's gospel. But so many of these people, well, like I say, it's very cultish seeming to me. And how cults are, they take people down a path that a lot of people would never thought they would get involved in. And that's what's happened with Trump, I think.
If Trump's convicted, I don't believe that he would ever be in a prison cell. But What do you think will happen to the country if he is convicted?
Yeah. You know, as much as I think he's guilty, having him convicted is going to set off a firebomb, you know. I mean, there's going to be, I don't know if it'd be like civil war or what, but, you know, nearly half the nation is on his team, or was at least. I don't know where it stands now. But I think, you know, I've been through 15 presidents, and I have never experienced anything like this transition from Trump to Biden. You know, when somebody would not leave the authority of the presidency. And I think in that situation, that just almost to me proved the dictatorship ideals that he has, you know.
What would you, if you could say anything to all the Trump supporters out there in the world right now, what would you say?
Well, I would certainly say, like I'd say for all of us, we need to really look at the facts. We need to get in and study it up. Not just listen to everything you hear, just really try to find where truth lies, you know? Which is very difficult in this day of age, this day and age. But that's what we need to do.
Last question. What would you say if you could talk to President Trump himself?
Well, Donald, what do you think's up, huh? I don't know. Actually, we have friends down in Chula Vista who have met Trump and visited with him, and they just thought he was the most fantastic person and the most genuine person they'd ever met. But I would try to be gracious. I wouldn't, if he asked me pointed questions, I would not necessarily agree with everything he said, but I don't know, what could we do, you know? And the second part of the answer to your question is probably never going to happen. So, but that's just my own thinking.